Well, in a sense, it's still being criticized and it hasn't been legalized. It has been decriminalized. But surprisingly, when it comes to marijuana byproducts, Jamaica is way behind and has some catching up to do with other countries with a budding cannabis market. Are we missing out? We're here to hear the smoke. Lecturer at the Monash School of Business, Dr. Kadamawi Knife, and my good friend. Good to see you.
Yeah, morning, thanks. Sir Knife, Dr. Knife, Ras Knife.
Yeah. Let me get something out of the way. Are you involved in this cannabis licensing in any way?
All right, license. We're involved in the industry more than 20 odd years, but license, no. I mean, I personally think that when you're going to move an industry forward, you don't put restrictive measures in place. If you look at the cost of the license, it's extremely prohibitive.
What is the cost?
I mean, you have some simple cost. For example, if I'm going to register as a farmer, I need to pay $300 US to register annually. If I'm registered as a farmer through RADA, I pay 500 Jamaican dollars, and that is for the ID. Yes? So as a farmer, as a ganja farmer, I'm first and foremost a farmer, which means that my priority is to register with RADA as a farmer.
Which is 500 Jamaican.
And I'm going to specialize in herb, in particular ganja. No, yes? So if you talk about the license is supposed to be something that is encouraging rather than something that is really an impediment. You know, so it's too restrictive. If you say that I need to pay $10,000 US annually for a distribution license, $10,000 US annually for a distribution license, where is that the average farmer in Jamaica is going to find 10,000? If I can find 10,000 for a license, I do not need to be doing the things that I'm doing.
This distribution locally.
Locally.
And it has to be...
export.
And it has to be medicinal marijuana.
Yes, and that thing of the medicinal marijuana, I think people must be clear that every plant is medicine. So it's pharmaceutical ganja we're talking about. And if you're in the pharmaceutical industry, because of the kind of regulations that are required, you know what is it? You can't send something out there that can create health problems. You need all these kinds of standards, and we do agree with the standards. But we are suggesting, though, that if you're going to promote pharmaceutical ganja, you don't promote at the expense of what has been organic within the country, which is what Jamaica is known for. Jamaica is known for wellness and not pharmaceutical.
Now, if I want to just go back for the listeners who aren't up to date on what has been happening, and exactly what we're saying here. As a farmer, if you want to grow, when Neville mentioned about decriminalized, it has been decriminalized marijuana. So not going to lock you up like, you know, how we used to do if you're caught with a certain amount. But when we're talking about growing herb, marijuana, can you grow it organic, natural marijuana on your farms?
No.
Yes.
And the license don't permit, the structure don't permit it under the decriminalized structure. Just saying you can only grow 5 plants, and this is part of the hypocrisy. Now, I have heard persons in the health ministry suggesting that if you use plant and you smoke herb, it creates problems. So you're saying that I must grow 5 plants to do what? Carry to a lab? I'm going to grow 5 plants in my yard to do.
You must just smoke.
So if I can't use and build a split for a burn a chalice, am I going to take the 5 plants and carry to some lab that have these license to do the extraction and get the thing and use?
No.
So it can't be. It's like you're telling people one thing and they're saying a next thing. You know, it can't be like that.
But we're doing it for a pharmaceutical license to grow that certain strain.
And here's the problem. Here's the thing, Neville. If people understand the demand, what drives the demand, we are promoting in pharmaceutical ganja that which is high in CDB, not THC. Now, if you know what's happening in Europe, a lot of the persons in Europe and America are suffering from dementia-related illnesses. That's one of the leading killers. Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Now, CDB in ganja is actually good for those things. So those people have an incentive to come to Jamaica, where you might have a cheaper operational cost. Yes, to produce that in the greenhouse, to get back that thing into their country to supply those people who have those needs. Now, what is it that the general population come to Jamaica to consume? Not CDB. They want to look at the overall wellness, look at the THC actually. Those in Jamaica have that thing naturally. CDB is not a natural, doesn't occur naturally in the ganja plant, a very high quantity. So, you know, in the labs, trying to create seeds that can produce CBD strains that have high amounts so you can take the actives out of the plant. Now, that in itself is a problem. Because if you understand how your body is designed and how it is designed to use herb, with the endocannabinoid system, it is designed to actually take up the THC. If you change the structure of the plant, it can create an imbalance. That is why you need to have the kind of regulations. Because if you get in too much CDB or too much THC, it might create a problem.
All right, we want to go back to this licensing business. It says Kaya Farms now open for business first cannabis dispensary in Jamaica.
Yeah.
As far as you know,
The first publicized.
The first publicized.
Or licensed.
In the public, because you see, and this is why I say you need transparency in everything, because for more than 2 years now, when you go in the street, people have been telling you what is happening. People have been big farms up in the hills with fences, etc. And these farms were publicized as licensed farms, you know? But this is how the state operates. I mean, we make a big thing about this place like the first. We have what we call a Columbus syndrome. We're trying to discover things that already exist. These things existed for like a while. You know, and people have been questioning it and saying, how is that we're saying we're going to give license and nobody has been given license? And people are saying they have 3, 4, 5 persons have license.
So, Dr. Knife, your issue with all of this is what?
All right, you know, my big concern of it is how do you create, well, what is called a win-win scenario. I am saying that the pharmaceuticals can win, the traditional peoples can win. But the state lens create what you call a zero-sum game, such that if one person is going to win, the next person needs to lose. Bad kind of thinking, yes? Do your pharmaceutical because that formal part of the sector that will benefit from those years. But look at what has happened. What is that Jamaica has used ganja for? So you go to places in Westmoreland. Look at the communities that grow herb in Westmoreland.
So how do we build those up, Knife? Let's look at the community, developing the economy through community business, tourism, development of the marijuana for the peoples in the community. Well, how do we do that?
Broaden it, because ganja is about agriculture.
Right.
No, we import more than $1 billion of food. We know that traditionally ganja farmers are to be hired in herbs, so we use what we call integrated farming practices. Sound like a fancy word. We plant okra, we plant gungo peas, because we have a hide herb.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? So we're always planting. So the plan now gives you a chance to look at how do you revitalize the agriculture sector. And because many young persons are involved in ganja farming, it also resolves a problem that we have in the Ministry of Agriculture is that we don't have enough young people involved in agriculture. Now, you can do what is called, ganja is the only plant in Jamaica, you can have freedoms of branding, you know. You have the community branding, like we know that's the boy Sunny Hill or Orange Hill or Grange Hill in those places are known for our plants. You have parish branding. You know, like in the 80s, I said with St. Anne, been the parish that planted the best herb. Now people are saying between St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland.
I was going to say, growing up, I thought it was our place up in St. Elizabeth.
All right. And you have national branding.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, so if we understand the concept of brand Jamaica and value added, you know, it becomes very different. You imagine, Neville, if I decide, so, okay, I'm going to create a ganja-infused chocolate bar that comes from Highgate. And Highgate is a nice name because of the word high in it, you know. So we do that. You know what it means? I'm going to sell that chocolate saying that, okay, chocolate have the most digestive enzymes as a plant that we know. And we can talk about all the other benefits that you can get from the ganja plant. So each time you use the ganja as an additive into something like a functional food, it creates a serious industry at the community level as well, you know. Because you might be able to actually go and say, okay, I want to buy orange hill incense and use it in aromatherapy. Yes? No, the persons in orange hill don't have that chance now because you don't need a big greenhouse. You don't need all those cameras because the state is not promoting that component. And it goes against what the Minister of Tourism is actually saying, because when it's the Edmund Barrett, he's thinking that we can now integrate this thing here into the tourism industry. And at the same time, he's saying we need to push what is called community-based tourism. Ganja was the first puller for community-based tourism.
And so it just
from the 1970s till now, it has been the biggest puller. And we're not using that chance. So now, I think the minister knows what he's saying. But again, I do not hear the Minister of Agriculture say anything. And I not hear the Minister of Investment and Commerce say anything. So I have a real chance to do something, I will not really utilizing the chance.
Well, properly. I want to see your business plan.
Now, I'm going to tell you something that I know. I'm not buying no license.
Right.
Until you tell people who sell rum and enforce that they must pay for the license, I will not be buying any license. You can't come and farm, come do anything.
Right.
I'm serious on level. You can't do that. You know why I don't tell rum people to buy to pay for the license? Because if you stop the bars, it means that you destroy the distribution network for rum. So you will overlook that. Now, there's no way in which the people can actually stop the distribution of her because they have done that while we were under pressure. You know what I mean? It's a kind of intellectual dishonesty, and some people have to take that kind of stance.
So you are saying free up the herb?
I mean, it's about herb always free. Yeah, it's a mean, I Rasta, so herb always refer, you know.
What you're saying is let's develop allow the community facilitate
and regularize the existing organic industry without creating impediments. It's as simple as that. Yeah. And we have done it very well. That's the biggest brand in the world.
And it's a message to the people watching right now who have the opportunity, get together, advocate for what you want, and start to build out your business.
And that's not alone, man. The man in Parliament doesn't be Jamaican. Stop being colonial. Well, we are people who seize opportunities when it arises.
Man, we need to get rid of the Queen then.
Yeah, so all of that.
But Dr. Knight,
it's another argument.
Don't you run the risk of, and I say free it up, but if you run the risk of freeing it up, that it, as you said, it won't be regularized and people won't start selling anything.
No, but Jamaican people follow rule, you know. Nobody feels don't follow rule, no. I mean, we follow rules. But if the rule don't make sense, we're not going to follow it. But we follow rules. So if I can see how that we are going to really benefit from it, I'm going to give you a quick example. Right now in the university, I have over 100 students who are enrolled in the programs that deal with ganja research. Over 100 students. Now, you know that many of these students are persons who come from communities that usually plant herb. So these are youths who informally learned about the herb through their parents, etc., etc. Now they're in the university. They have access to the labs. They naturally want to explore these things. You know what I mean? And you know what has happened since the decriminalization? Do you know that the quality of herb production has improved significantly? And also the price of herb has also improved significantly. There's a really fast-growing US dollar market for herb, you know, where people paying more than $200 US for an ounce of herb. So even within the perceived free space, the players in the market, the lower players, the players in the market now recognize that they can improve quality of production. A lot of other things they're actually doing. So now if you come with the kind of support from an SRC, and SRC, I think, is one of the organizations that really kind of understand what can be done.
Scientific Research Council.
So if you said to SRC, let us try to regularize these things. These youths who are trying to make edibles, let them give them a proper formulation so they recognize they can use less THC and actually get more out of the products. People be doing this. We have, recently we had Step in Eye Festival and persons were doing their products. We're going to have Ganja 420 with our organization, Scarce Commodity, and persons are going to come with their products. And that's what they're trying to get people to understand.
Should farmers be allowed to export?
And them don't want a farmer export herb, man. What do all the while? You know, and this is what I must know. If I'm going to pay $10,000 US to get a license, I can pay less than $10,000 US to send herbs go overseas. What should I do? Pay $10,000 to get a license, or send herbs to Barbados I can get $4,000 US a pound for the herb?
Or
what should I do?
Or 4,000 people come here to have our herb.
That's what I mean. We have live in an illusion.
You know what? We're gonna hear this conversation, right, but you've really brought up some important points. There is a 2015 amendment to the Dangerous Drugs Act. It does allow, as was what we're talking about, people to handle ganja for medical, scientific, and therapeutic purposes. So look up the act on the JIS website if you want to know what it says, and if you want to run your own ganja business and build our economy and build our wealth, then advocate, jump on the thing, and ask the people to do what you need them to do.
Good to see you, Bridget.
Yeah, man. I will live with this rum vibes. I'm serious about it. Yeah.
Don't move, my brother. He's a lecturer at the Modern School of Business. Little cantankerous this morning.
No, you know, not this morning. He's passionate about what he believes in. You can book him to speak at your next event for community development.
Don't wanna be